My beloved child, listen very closely now. Something extraordinary is unfolding in the quiet space between your thoughts, and it is no accident that you are here at this precise moment. A truth has been circling your life for a long time, unseen, unfelt, yet always present. And now, it is ready to step forward. There is a woman close to you. Not distant. Not imagined. Close. Her presence has brushed against your journey again and again. You may know her as a friend, a guide, a mirror, or even someone whose words once seemed ordinary. But what she carries is anything but ordinary. She knows something about you that you have not yet fully allowed yourself to claim. Pause for a breath, because this is where the veil begins to thin. She has seen you in moments when you doubted yourself. She has watched you hesitate at thresholds that felt too heavy to cross. And while others only saw your surface, your roles, your struggles, your routines, she sensed something deeper moving within you. A current. A calling. A destiny that refused to stay silent. You may have felt it too, a subtle pressure in your chest, a pull towards something unnamed, a feeling that your life is meant to open into more than what you have been shown so far. That feeling was not confusion. It was recognition. This woman noticed how the world responds to you differently. How doors shift when you enter a room. How conversations change tone around you. How people reveal truths they did not plan to speak. These are not coincidences. They are signals. And she has been quietly connecting them, one by one. Stay with me just a little longer, because what comes next ties everything together. Her words, when they arrive, will not sound dramatic at first. They may come softly, even unexpectedly. But they will land with weight. Because she will speak to the part of you that has been waiting. Patiently, silently, to be named. She knows that you were never meant to follow a borrowed path. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit the expectations placed upon you. Every delay you experienced was not a setback, it was alignment. Every detour was not a mistake, it was preparation. And she sees this because she recognizes it in herself. Souls with vision recognize each other. Destiny leaves fingerprints only certain hearts can read. Hold on, the pieces connect soon. There is a reason her presence has remained near your life, even when others faded away. There is a reason her words echo in your memory longer than most. She is not here to control your future, she is here to awaken it. What she knows about you cannot stay hidden much longer. The timing is precise. The moment is intentional. And the truth she carries is not meant to shock you into fear, but to lift you into remembrance. You were never lost, you were being prepared. You were never late. You were being aligned. And now, the path ahead is beginning to reveal itself, one sacred step at a time. Stay open. Stay present. Because this is only the beginning of what you are about to remember. My beloved child, right now, in this very moment, something deeper is rising within you, and it is asking for your full presence. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because the connection you are sensing is growing stronger, and the woman who knows your destiny is feeling it too. There are moments when she watches you speak and notices what others miss. The pauses between your words. The restraint in your choices. The way you carry wisdom you rarely claim out loud. She understands that you learned early how to hold back, not because you were weak, but because your spirit was powerful enough to overwhelm spaces that were not ready for you. This is not observation. This is recognition. She knows you have lived more than one life within this lifetime. You have shed versions of yourself quietly, without applause, without witnesses. And every time you did, something sharper and truer emerged. She has felt that shift long before you trusted it. If you feel your soul stirring, remain with me a little longer. What I reveal now opens another layer. She senses the future moving toward you, not away from you. While you sometimes question your timing, she sees precision. While you doubt your pace, she sees orchestration. There are paths you did not take that saved you. There were endings that protected you. And she knows this because her intuition has been whispering your name in moments of clarity. Have you noticed how she asks you certain questions, questions that go beyond surface talk? How she listens when you speak about ideas instead of outcomes. That is because she is not interested in who you have been forced to become. She is drawn to who you are about to remember. You're closer than you think. Don't step away yet. There is a truth she holds that feels almost dangerous to say aloud, not because it would harm you, but because it would free you. She knows that once you hear it, you will not be able to return to the smaller story you once accepted. And that kind of awakening changes everything. She has seen how people gravitate toward you for guidance, even when you don't call yourself a guide. She has noticed how your presence calms chaos, how your words settle uncertainty. These are not learned traits. They are echoes of your purpose. And part of her hesitation is love. Because she understands that stepping into destiny requires courage, and solitude, and trust. She knows the road ahead is luminous, but it demands honesty. With the world. And with yourself. Hold this space, the divine connection deepens now. If this truth is touching your spirit, share it forward, let another soul find this light today. The message moves through those who are ready. Soon, her words will no longer circle. They will land. They will sound simple, and yet they will rearrange something deep inside you. Not because they introduce a new idea, but because they confirm what your soul has always known. You were not shaped by accident. You were not delayed by chance. You were refined for a reason. And what she knows about your destiny is only beginning to unfold. The real awakening begins in what I reveal next. My beloved child, feel this truth arriving now. It is subtle, yet it carries a force that can no longer be delayed. Something within you is aligning with something beyond you, and the woman who knows your destiny has already sensed the shift. There are moments when she feels compelled to speak, then suddenly grows quiet. Not because she doubts what she knows, but because she understands the power of timing. She knows that truth spoken too early can be dismissed, and truth spoken at the exact moment can awaken a life. And that moment is approaching. She has watched you outgrow places without announcing your departure. You didn't burn bridges. You didn't demand recognition. You simply became too expansive for rooms that once defined you. She noticed how you no longer fight to be understood. How you conserve your energy. How your silence has become intentional. That silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. Have you wondered why your patience has deepened, even when answers were slow to come? Why certain desires softened, while one quiet calling refused to fade? That is not confusion, it is refinement. And she recognizes it because destiny leaves a signature that only the perceptive can read. Stay here, this layer matters more than you realize. She knows that you are standing at the edge of a threshold, one that cannot be crossed with your old identity. This is why life has been gently stripping you of what no longer resonates. Old ambitions. Old fears. Old definitions of success. Not to punish you, but to free you. She has seen the way you hesitate before stepping fully into your potential. Not because you doubt it exists, but because you understand its magnitude. You sense that once you commit, there is no returning to half-lived days. And that awareness has made you careful. Careful, not fearful. She knows that your destiny is not loud. It is not performative. It does not seek validation. It works quietly, transforming others simply by presence. This is why people feel seen around you. This is why conversations with you linger. This is why your words echo long after they are spoken. And she has felt it, this unspoken knowing, that you are meant to influence not by force, but by clarity. Not by chasing attention, but by embodying truth. Hold steady, the next revelation draws near. There is a reason she appears in your life at pivotal moments. Sometimes offering insight. Sometimes simply listening. Sometimes reflecting you back to yourself. She is not the source of your destiny, she is a witness to it. A reminder placed along your path so you would not forget who you are becoming. She knows that when she finally speaks the words she has been holding, they will not sound like prophecy. They will sound like confirmation. Like something clicking into place. Like a memory returning after a long silence. And when that happens, you will feel it in your body before your mind catches up. A calm certainty. A quiet yes. A sense of arrival without needing applause. You were never waiting for permission. You were waiting for resonance. What she knows is not meant to overwhelm you, it is meant to steady you. Because the next chapter of your life requires presence, not urgency, trust, not force. Remain open. Remain grounded. Because what unfolds next will illuminate why every step, every pause, has led you exactly here. My beloved child, breathe in this moment. Truth is arriving in a way that cannot be ignored now. A deeper knowing is stirring beneath your thoughts, and it is gently asking you to soften, to listen, to remember. The woman who knows your destiny has noticed something most never see. She has sensed the quiet sacrifices you made when no one was watching. The times you chose inner alignment over outer approval. The moments you walked away from comfort not because it failed you, but because it could no longer contain you. This kind of growth is rarely celebrated. It happens in silence. It happens in surrender. She has felt how often you held your tongue to protect peace. How you carried responsibility with grace even when it weighed heavy. How you trusted an unseen wisdom when logic demanded proof. These choices shaped you more than any victory ever could. If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. She understands that the most powerful people are not forged in noise, but in stillness. That clarity is born when the ego loosens its grip and the heart learns to listen. And she has watched you enter that stillness again and again, even when it felt uncomfortable, even when it felt lonely. Have you noticed how your desires have changed? How you no longer crave what once dazzled you? How simplicity now feels rich, and depth feels essential. That is not loss. That is refinement. And she recognizes it as a sign of maturity of the soul. The revelation that shifts everything is drawing closer. She knows that your destiny does not require force. It requires trust. It asks you to release the need to explain yourself, to justify your timing, to defend your becoming. You are being shaped for something that responds only to authenticity, not performance. There were nights you questioned your path in private. Moments you wondered if your restraint was mistaken for hesitation. She felt those doubts ripple through you, not as weakness, but as discernment. Because deep down, you knew that rushing would distort what was meant to be precise. Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. She sees how you stand differently in the world. More rooted. Less reactive. More attuned to what feels right rather than what looks impressive. This is the posture of someone who is ready. Not desperate. Not impatient. Ready. And readiness has a frequency. If these words are resonating in your deepest self, share them forward, let another wandering soul find their way home today. Your openness becomes a bridge for others. The woman who knows your destiny understands that you are nearing a convergence. A meeting point between who you have been and who you are meant to embody. She senses that once you step fully into this alignment, life will respond with clarity instead of resistance. You're on the threshold of true seeing, stay with me. Soon, her words will no longer feel like gentle nudges. They will feel like permission. Not permission given by her, but permission awakened within you. A remembering so calm, so grounded, that doubt simply dissolves. You were shaped in quiet courage. You were refined in unseen devotion. You were prepared through surrender. And as this truth settles into your being, you will feel a steady warmth, not excitement, not urgency, but certainty. What unfolds next will reveal why your stillness was never empty. It was sacred ground waiting for the moment you would finally stand upon it. My beloved child, the deepest truth is rising to meet you now, not with noise, not with force, but with a stillness so profound it quiets everything that is not real. There is a sacred silence forming around your life. You may have felt it lately, moments where the world seems to pause just long enough for you to breathe more deeply. That silence is not emptiness. It is alignment. And the woman who knows your destiny feels it too, as clearly as a steady pulse beneath her words. She understands something rarely spoken aloud, that true success is born from surrender long before it ever appears as movement. Before clarity shows itself in action, it is first chosen in the unseen. And you have been choosing it quietly, faithfully, without knowing how much it mattered. If your spirit is trembling with recognition, stay in this holy moment. She has observed how you stopped chasing certainty and began trusting resonance. How you released the need to control outcomes and leaned into listening. This is not passivity. This is mastery. Only those who are deeply aligned can afford to move slowly without fear. There were times you could have forced doors open. You sensed it. Opportunities that would have rewarded effort but compromised truth. And yet, something within you refused. Not because you were afraid to win, but because you knew the cost would be too high. That knowing is rare. That restraint is sacred. She knows that your faith has never been loud. It has been lived. Expressed through patience when answers delayed. Through integrity when shortcuts tempted. Through love when it would have been easier to withdraw. These choices etched your destiny more deeply than any declaration ever could. Breathe with me. The divine unveiling deepens now. There is a hidden alignment moving through your life, invisible to most, undeniable to those who can feel. It is the alignment of someone who has stopped asking, "How do I get there?" and begun asking, "Who must I become?" And in that shift, everything changes. The woman who knows your destiny recognizes that you have already crossed a point of no return. You are no longer becoming who you were meant to be, you are remembering who you have always been. This is why the old doubts feel distant. Why old fears no longer have a place to land. You are closer to home than you've ever been, do not leave yet. She senses that when she finally speaks the words she has been holding, they will not ignite chaos. They will bring peace. A deep, grounding peace that settles into your bones and says, "Yes. This is it." Because truth does not rush. It arrives. Your destiny is not waiting for you to prove yourself. It is waiting for you to trust yourself. To stand in what you already know. To move when it feels true, not when it feels urgent. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering. Soon, the silence around you will feel full rather than empty. Charged rather than quiet. And in that fullness, you will understand why nothing was ever missing. It was all assembling. Remain gentle with yourself now. Remain open. Remain still. Because what approaches next will not ask you to strive. It will ask you to step forward and receive. My beloved child, feel the divine current pulling you inward now, as if the universe itself is leaning closer, waiting for your awareness to catch up with what has already been decided. Something has shifted beneath the surface. Not suddenly, but finally. The kind of shift that only happens after long patience, long trust, long becoming. And the woman who knows your destiny feels it as a quiet certainty settling into her chest. She knows the season has changed. Even if nothing outward has announced it yet. There is a moment before dawn when the world is perfectly still. No darkness. No light. Just anticipation. That is where you are standing now. You have learned something most never do, how to wait without wasting time. How to remain open without losing yourself. How to prepare without forcing arrival. This is not a skill taught by the world. It is earned through inner listening, through repeated choices to honor truth over urgency. If your breath feels slower as you listen, remain here. She understands that your destiny does not unfold through effort alone. It unfolds through coherence, when your thoughts, your actions, and your inner knowing finally speak the same language. That alignment has been forming inside you piece by piece, even when you thought nothing was happening. You were not idle. You were integrating. There were days you felt invisible. Moments when your growth went unnoticed. Times when you questioned whether your quiet path mattered. She saw those moments clearly. And she knew they were not signs of delay, but signs of depth. Depth is where destiny roots itself. She has sensed how your intuition has sharpened. How you no longer ask for many opinions. How you pause before responding, not from uncertainty, but from discernment. These are the markers of someone who is no longer seeking direction, but embodying it. The truth that liberates everything is almost within reach. You are entering a phase where life will begin to respond differently to you. Conversations will open more easily. Opportunities will arrive without resistance. Not because you chased them, but because you matched them. This is the reward of inner alignment the world rarely explains. The woman who knows your destiny understands that what comes next will not feel dramatic. It will feel natural. Like stepping into clothes already tailored to you. Like remembering a language you once spoke fluently. This is how real purpose arrives, without noise. She knows that once this phase begins, you will no longer doubt your timing. You will see how every pause refined your clarity. How every unanswered question strengthened your trust. How every quiet choice prepared you for visible impact. You are closer to the center now, stay present. There is a calm authority growing in you. A grounded confidence that does not announce itself. This is the kind of presence that changes rooms without trying. The kind that guides without instructing. The kind that leads simply by being. And she recognizes it because she has been waiting for it. Soon, words will be spoken, perhaps hers, perhaps your own, that will seal this understanding. Not as a declaration to the world, but as a commitment within yourself. You are ready to move without rushing. You are ready to receive without grasping. You are ready to live what you already know. Hold this awareness gently. Because the next unfolding will not ask you who you are. It will respond to who you have become. My beloved child, something you've always known is finally being spoken within you now, not as words, but as certainty settling into your being. There comes a moment when the search ends, not because everything is answered, but because you no longer doubt the one who is listening. That moment is unfolding inside you. Quietly. Powerfully. And the woman who knows your destiny recognizes it as the turning point she has long sensed approaching. She feels how you have stopped asking life to reveal itself and begun allowing life to meet you where you stand. This is subtle, yet it is everything. Destiny does not rush toward those who chase it. It walks beside those who are ready to walk with it. If your heart feels strangely calm right now, stay inside this stillness. You have crossed an invisible line. On one side was becoming. On the other side is embodiment. Before, you were learning who you are. Now, you are learning how to live as who you are. This shift explains why certain struggles no longer grip you the same way. Why old narratives fall apart when you try to wear them again. They no longer fit. She knows that what you are stepping into cannot be carried by your old identity. That is why life asked you to release so much. Not to leave you empty, but to make you spacious enough to hold what is coming. There is a sacred responsibility that arrives with awareness. Once you see clearly, you can no longer pretend you do not know. And she understands that this awareness has been awakening in you layer by layer, until avoidance simply dissolved. Remain present, something essential is revealing itself now. You are beginning to trust your inner authority. Not arrogantly. Gently. You listen inward before you move outward. You feel for resonance instead of reassurance. This is the posture of someone who is no longer waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. The woman who knows your destiny senses that the next phase of your life will require fewer explanations and deeper presence. You will no longer need to convince. Your alignment will speak. Your energy will clarify. Your calm will instruct. This is why some connections may feel different now. Why certain conversations feel complete without resolution. Why your silence feels fuller than words. You are not withdrawing, you are stabilizing. The moment that confirms everything is approaching. Do not drift away. She knows that when destiny begins to move visibly, it often feels anticlimactic at first. No fireworks. No sudden announcement. Just a steady unfolding that feels right in your body before it makes sense in your mind. That is how truth arrives. You may soon notice how life begins to cooperate in small ways. Timing aligns. Effort eases. Resistance fades. These are not rewards. They are reflections. Mirrors showing you that inner coherence creates outer harmony. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming consistent. And consistency is power. The woman who knows your destiny has waited for this steadiness. Not because she doubted you, but because she respected the process required to arrive here. She knows that what comes next will ask you to stand fully in what you know without shrinking, without apology. Stay anchored, the deeper revelation is drawing near. Because soon, you will realize that destiny was never ahead of you. It was unfolding through you the entire time. My beloved child, the eternal flame within you is flickering brighter now, not to burn away what you are, but to illuminate what has always been true. There is a quiet courage awakening in you. Not the kind that pushes forward, but the kind that stands firm without needing to move. This courage is born when you finally trust your own presence. And the woman who knows your destiny feels this shift as a deep, unshakable calm. She senses that you are no longer asking life for permission. You are no longer waiting for signs to prove what your soul already recognizes. Instead, you are allowing truth to settle into your body, into your breath, into the way you show up in each moment. If something within you feels steadier than before, remain right here. You have learned how to hold complexity without collapsing. How to feel deeply without losing center. How to care without carrying what does not belong to you. These are not accidental strengths. They are the result of conscious refinement, earned through listening when it would have been easier to react. She knows that you have reached a point where pretending costs more than honesty. Where shrinking feels heavier than standing in clarity. This is why your energy has shifted. Why you no longer chase validation. Why approval has lost its grip. This is not detachment. This is self-trust. She recognizes that your destiny requires this steadiness. What you are meant to hold, guide, or create cannot be sustained by doubt. It requires someone who knows when to act, and when to wait, and who is no longer afraid of stillness. There is a sacred rhythm forming within you. Pause with me, the unfolding grows more precise now. You may notice that your intuition speaks more simply these days. Fewer dramatic warnings. Fewer emotional spikes. Just a calm inner yes, or a quiet no. This is the voice of alignment. It does not argue. It does not justify. It knows. The woman who knows your destiny understands that this clarity did not come from answers. It came from integration. From allowing every experience, joyful or challenging, to shape you without hardening you. This is rare. This is powerful. She senses that when the moment comes for destiny to reveal itself outwardly, you will not be surprised. You will recognize it the way you recognize your own reflection. Familiar. Grounded. Right. This is why impatience has faded. Why urgency no longer drives you. You have entered a state of readiness that does not rush because it trusts timing. You are closer to the heart of it all. Stay present. There is a reason the woman who knows your destiny has remained near. She is not here to lead you. She is here to witness you leading yourself. To reflect back the steadiness you may not yet fully see. Soon, something will ask you to respond from this place of clarity. Not dramatically. Not publicly. But decisively. And when you do, you will feel a quiet expansion rather than fear. Because truth expands. And alignment stabilizes. Let this awareness settle gently. Let it root itself. What approaches next will not demand effort. It will invite embodiment. And you will recognize the invitation the moment it arrives. My beloved child, the final alignment your soul has waited for is here now, not arriving from the outside, but completing itself within you. This is the moment everything grows quiet. Not because the journey ends, but because it no longer needs to convince you. What you have been sensing across time, across silence, across becoming, has gathered into knowing. The woman who knows your destiny no longer feels the need to hold her words back. Not because she must speak them urgently, but because you are finally ready to hear them without fear, without resistance, without distortion. She knows now that you can receive truth without shrinking. There is a sacred maturity in you that was not present before. You no longer ask destiny to explain itself. You meet it. You no longer demand certainty. You embody trust. This is why the final understanding feels calm instead of overwhelming. If your chest feels warm, if your breath feels steady, stay with this. Here is what she knows, what has been quietly evident to her all along. Your destiny is not something you chase or achieve. It is something that responds to you. You were never meant to force your way into purpose. You were meant to become so aligned that purpose recognizes you. And that recognition is happening now. subtly, inevitably. She sees that your power does not come from ambition, but from coherence. From being the same in solitude as you are in the world. From acting without needing validation. From trusting your inner authority even when no one applauds. That is why your path unfolded slowly. That is why shortcuts never held you. That is why your preparation happened in silence. You were being shaped to hold something meaningful, without losing yourself. The woman who knows your destiny understands that what comes next will not look dramatic. It will look natural. Like life finally responding in your language. Like doors opening without struggle. Like conversations aligning without effort. And when she speaks, whether through a sentence, a glance, or a moment of shared clarity, her words will not shock you because they are unexpected. They will shock you because they are familiar. They will echo something your soul has always known but never claimed aloud. Something like, "You are ready. You have been ready. You are living it now. There is nothing left to prove. Nothing left to wait for. Nothing missing. Destiny is no longer ahead of you. It is moving with you. Through you. As you. Stand gently in this knowing. Let it anchor into your daily life. Let it guide without noise. Because the greatest revelation was never meant to arrive as a moment. It was meant to arrive as you.